Hi, welcome and Assalamu alaikum. So today another important session. We are moving ahead at social media mastery. That's we call it as today, tomorrow, day after, probably entire week. We are going to spend on social media. As all of you know, so very important in order to generate a business, especially when you move to our championship period. So thank you so much, all of you, tuning in time. This is actually we are coming back to the social media session, maybe a fourth time. I think it's the last final one. So that's the reason we are calling it as a social media mastery. I believe it. I think it's a very comprehensive things which we'll discuss today onwards. Before that, I just wanted to remind you, those who are joining first time, we had a series of sessions a couple of times. Now, every month we have one or two sessions about the social media, something called social media management and social media objectives. Then we also had a social media, social media auditing. So there are different sessions we had in earlier. Then in addition to that, we had something called YouTube mastery, more about YouTube. A detail about completely on a YouTube. We spent approximately around 8 days on a YouTube mastery. We added with the new strategies and methods. In addition to that, we also had something called GAFA. There is a program which we did on a 50th day, where GAFA stands for Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Alibaba, where we spent a lot of time on a Facebook. So many times we discussed about social media in general, and we did various aspects. Today, the continuation of that one, but still, if you're not attended, that is the way we made it on social media mastery. It is a comprehensive one. But of course, on and off, I'll be referring that previous one because I'm not going to repeat the things which were. But social media mastery, an independent program, as even your first time attending this program, will be helpful for you. Okay, so that's why the social media mastery, we did it for 3 to 4 days. To supposed to be 1 week. So because we are now closing to 100 days, so we reduced to the content little bit, made it to more comprehensive to complete on this week. Okay, so very important according to me, those who are having a website, those who decide to go and market, those who are going to promote. If you have a limited resources to market, as you know, last time we did discuss, social media is the dim channel you will be utilizing. Even yesterday when we discussed about the email marketing, so when we do email marketing, it's also social media, also part of it. So in a comprehensive way, today we'll start discussing about social media, and so we call it a social media mastery. We have major platform also will work on it. Same like a 3I principle model will go, the 4 steps methods will go, and we made it very comprehensive. I'm pretty confident that is now with this, all of you are capable to run your own campaign, immediately after the 100 days over. Okay, so I'll connect to the PowerPoint as usual. Then we will take to next portion. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, so once again, I welcome all of you to the Digital Mastery Challenge of 100 Days program. Today, 84th day. So October 12th, 2020, on Monday. I'm live from Doha, Qatar. So today, the topic of the day, we are discussing about social media mastery, the day one. We have 3-4 days to go. Social media mastery is an entire part of the social media we're going to cover today, tomorrow, or day after, different platform, different strategies. And majorly, we are going to do something called social media marketing, because that exactly all of us is going to use the major purpose of social media marketing. So we are, in the marketing perspective, we'll be discussing in detail, as this is a part of our digital marketing series. We started 10 days ago. The same thing we are continuing as a social media marketing as well. Let's start. So first off, find me on a Facebook. Okay, this is a very common with us, right? Follow me on a Twitter. This is everywhere we see that one, or check out my blog. There's another thing which is a part of our life, right? All the thing maybe around 10 years ago, if I say all of the things, not, it's not make sense to the people. But today, everyone across the globe, this is a part of everywhere people say on the website or email or a WhatsApp or any kinds of a communication, any enterprise or a brand or a person doing to the people, this is what exactly people communicate with. This is a very, very important part. And more people are connecting. We discussed with a lot of statistics and demographics earlier days. For part of this, we discussed in detail about this as well, right? Now, another important part is when you look at it here, it is uh, the people are connecting, and brands are connecting, and people are now getting in touch with the social media part. So we need to discuss in detail about this one. Okay, so it's a one way. It's a very good news for us because the people are connected through social media. But we discussed around 40% of the population are connected to through social media. So it's a great news for us that means to reach out to these people, it's very easy for us without investing much money and comparatively less effort. I cannot say less effort, comparatively less effort. We can reach out to the people and get the businesses done. Now, another important part to survive in this market, we need to have to be there in the as a company, as a brand, as a business or organization, we need to be there in the platform, right? Now, even to compete with others, we need to be there on the website and on a platform. So many reasons when you look at it, you cannot get away, by part of social media. So with this, I welcome all of you to Social Media Mastery, to master this entire thing, and especially focusing on a social media marketing. So what exactly is social media marketing? When we say we keep telling about social media marketing, what exactly is social media marketing? So a form of internet marketing, or a digital marketing, utilizing social networking sites, marketing tool, and yeah, of course, marketing tools are a very important aspect. So thereby, what exactly we gain? One is the traffic. We also get a good brand exposure and interaction or a communication with the customers through the social media. So when we look at the overview, so like the four stage, like we discussed about the SEO, we discussed with the last 10 days ago, we discussed about the SEO, and a couple of days ago, therefore yesterday we discussed the email marketing. Same model, we will go for a social media as well. The same method, like a goal, we have set a goal and work on, then what kind of channel we use, and the implementation, analyzing part. This is what exactly we're going to do. Before that, once again, I would like to remind all of you, there's a continuation of the session because during the 100 days, I think we spent around 15 days total on social media on various aspects. So it's a good significant percentage of the time we are spending. When you look at it, this 3-4 days, around 18-20 days, we're spending on a social media. So you can understand the importance we are giving. So it is very serious. It is very significant, and we need to put an effort on it. Now, quickly to update you what I've got exactly. Now, I know that for 12-15 days you have to go back and do will be a challenge. I'm not looking for immediately working on a YouTube and there mastery unless you have a YouTube channel you're planning. I mean, for a capture reads method you're planning, only for a digital marketing plan you may not record to go for entire 7 days of that YouTube mastery program. However, you can look into the major aspect of the how to get a traffic, how to get generation of that one, the like a thumbnail part and a title part, the YouTube algorithm part, all the things in the YouTube part is very important part. Prior to that, we discussed about the various things to start in a social media. What are the things we should do? So we defined what are the things we should do for a social media. First, we define the objectives of the social media. So objectives part we discussed about here. Then here comes a goal. Then VM goes when you're working on the objective is important. So objectives can be branding, can be sales, can be leads, can be customer support, or a lead generation, or employment recruitment, or and looking for investors to prospect. So many kinds of objective you may have for your social media. Then we know that is we discuss about the social media marketing aspect. That's exactly today we discuss in detail. Then we also discuss about the social media management. So where we couple of things we discussed. So before social media management, we discussed social media strategies. Couple of things we discussed 2 strategies earlier. Apart from the YouTube strategy, I'm not counting YouTube strategies here because of the capture which work with completely different purposes. So strategies, we discussed something called 70-20-10 principle we discussed. We also discussed something called 3 sales a day strategy, right? So these 2 things we discussed about earlier. Every 8 hours, how do you make a sales? So these 2 things earlier we discussed. Now, in part of that, we also discussed something called social media management. Whether you are a solopreneur or you're running your own business alone, or you are you're working as a team, or you're a part of an organization, or you have a partners to work on. Whatever the cases, you need to have a kind of a managing system. If you are alone, as we mentioned earlier, we need to have a kind of a system to provide, like a social media manager. So a role we play, then we have a researchers and writers and graphic designers and setup and engager and monitor. There's the team which we discussed, the team structure we discussed, right? So I'm not going back to that presentation again. But keeping that mind only, I'm going to discuss all these things. So when we talk about the graphical designing part, you know that there is a requirement is there, the topic we already covered. Same way, we also discussed about content part. So content to be written based on a researcher. So there's a researcher is in the place. So then there's your SEO should be reflection here, right? Your keyword also should be part of your social media. That also we discussed. Now we also had another important aspect we discussed about is engagement. So how you get a more number of people engaging with you, liking with you, so following you, subscribing you, and sharing this is with and commenting and comment liking and comment forwarding, all the thing how they do it is, and for that all the thing overall how do you monitor all this aspect. So all these things we discussed in a comprehensive manner earlier. In addition to that, we also did one day a full session on social media auditing methods with the screenshot with how do you do the auditing and how you will set a goal for that is. Now that we discussed on 1 month or 2 months ago, saying about the auditing takes time. I believe all of you went through the auditing part. You completed the auditing part. Now you're moving forward to the next step. Okay. Now, when you look at it as all the aspects, so all these things is very, very important for you to understand and to implement from here onwards. Now, starting with the goal. So, and channel, implement, analyze. These are 4 methods we are going to discuss about all the social media. And we are majorly, not 11 social media we are not discussing about. We are majorly discussing Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Pinterest and Instagram. Also, we cover it. So these are the 5, 4, 6 we'll actually cover it. We are actually, I eliminated completely on a Google Plus because of security reasons and that anyway that no more. But rest of the thing, Pinterest is actually added, but very little. But we add. These are the major platforms we do. But SEO 101, those who are doing based on your based on what kind of a target audience you have, you may choose different kind of social medias, and you may do that one as well. So 111 social media record in terms of a SEO 101 strategy when we use it. But the major part today, we cover in the major portion of the social media aspect. On social media marketing point of view, we will work on it. Now, when you had done the auditing part, as you know that the auditing part, the branding part, what are the things you need to take care. So when you set a goal and the branding, if you're not done auditing, is going to have a problem. So if at all you are not done, please do at the earliest. Which I mentioned this is point earlier. To clean it up takes time. Sometimes you have to do auditing and put in a paper and working time. I agree. That's a time I went through that. I know it's a time taking, it's a hard working, and it's intimidating, but there's no other option. That's the first thing. Okay. So it's a very, very important part. Second option is basically, second one is which you're talking about your organization goal and syncing with your outcome, your social media goal. So some of the cases, some of you have not went through the goal setting exercise. What we do is VM goals as we are going to do, and that's one of the pending topics. So probably immediately after social media mastery, we will do VM goals. So when we do a VM goals, we also cover that. But overall, an idea of a goal you should also have an objective. So minimum goal all of you should keep it is that for $100 a day when you're working on it, a good percentage of the portion should come through social media. So one of the things which one part we discussed now, 3 sale a day. So 3 sale a day online when you're talking about affiliate website in prospective or a drop service prospective or even your OSM prospective, we can have 3 sales a day, but may not be for other things like maybe consulting or a trainer or even your YouTube channel. Those are the things that will be part of the some championship. So it is not necessary, everybody should have 3 sales a day. Sometimes it's not practical as well. Sometimes 3 sales is not enough to generate a revenue. So you need to make that as to be part of it. Okay, so make sure that is you will do that and set a goal. So these portion I request once again go and refresh yourself and understand. Now I'll tell you once again as a bit of truth here. If you're not done that, it's going to be difficult, honestly. So there is no. I don't want to deal with this diplomatically. It's a very important. I know there are so many people will not do and try to implement another way. Then we don't get an expected result. Then we blame the strategy. So the strategy to work on, there should be an action backed up with. Strategies are amazing. Unless it's implemented, there's no result. So we need to implement. That's the reason third step I mentioned as implementation. So we set a goal, we work on a channels, we implement, analyze it. So all the resources which we discussed earlier, it's very important. So I don't know how much more I can give you the importance for this one. So please go and do this one. Okay. Now, social media is an amazing way to keep a good relationship with the customers and to the new prospects. So if you wanted to increase the number of customers, social media is the best. Even you want to retain the customer, social media is the best. There's no doubt about it. So that's building relationship. So that's one of the objectives you need to keep. Can have a loyal customer. You get a customers who advocate you. All the things comes there. So here the objective today is we will understand the concept and the mechanics of the social media, how you can use them for the advantage way which we can take on it. So, for example, how do we get set up a use? How do we set up a engaging platform? Of the Facebook and Twitter or this other maybe LinkedIn, etc. So in the LinkedIn, how do we get into the group and participating and expanding our network and connecting with the people, partners and tie-ups and investors and directors and the people to buy the product from us, etc. So that also will cover on it. We also cover on YouTube and blogging part in this topic. Okay. And all the things social media gives and has very good power to go online. So this is what exactly we are looking for at this moment. Now, whether that life is long and happy depends on what channel you post. You know that in social media we always show that we go in, especially the brand enterprises show you are happy about it. You are happy. You're that's what is exactly we portray. But in the cases personal accounts, we may not be that way. We show our anger. We protest. We become rebel. We sad on sometimes. We protest on something. So, but in the case of a business perspective, we are more happy, and it is to make the others also happy. This is exactly one of the very positive way we can use the social media, especially for a brand purpose. The personal, I agree, sometimes may not be that way. Okay, so important part is how do you manage your profile. So it's important. Social media for a business purpose. I'm talking here. I'm not talking here as a personal purpose. So keep in our mind, we want we look into that way as a branding perspective, sales perspective, lead generation perspective, customer relation management perspective, and not based on building a relationship with an individual. So it's slightly different we are talking about here. Okay. So here we are talking about maximizing our social media market. So what is the step one? Of course, the goals. So the goal, as we discussed, is to be synced with your business goal. So, for example, you're an OSM, it's a 5 years goal we are talking about. You're talking affiliate, there's a 36 months goal we talk about, right? Now, in that further, it's a quarterly profit and monthly revenue. There's another strategy we'll work on. Like every month we want revenue and quarterly we'll look at the profit part. So that's very important, especially social media part, because social media, some of you will be spending money on a promotion aspect as well. Then we also work on the goals, maybe to have $100 per day. That's a championship goal we can have. So that is another thing which we also should work on. So for all the things you need to have my point here is a set the vision and goal. It's a matching with the organization goal or a website goal, what you set it. It's in the social media goals. Here we are talking about specifically understanding and setting up the very structured goals. Okay. So of course, this is the first step of the process. So this step, without many people really don't set a goal, they just randomly start and do. That's not the right method to do. Plus, people get disappointed. People get frustrated and nobody understand what is going on, etc. That's an issue comes up. So what are the steps is important one. When you look at the goals, when you say cut, you need to understand the resources part, right? So here you have three types of the social media. You have it is in the when you start doing. One is you earned, one is owned and paid. So all the three as our strength, and all the three we need to have a realistic approach. So this is very important: earned, owned, and paid. So when you're going to play this point we never discussed earlier. So please pay attention. So now, in addition, the foundation all of you have, based on that, we are going to build this earned, owned, and paid one. So this is important to have it. Okay. Now, so when you look at it as the earned and owned and paid, which I'm going to discuss with you in detail, and it is going to be part of almost every social media part. Okay, so very important to understand and differentiate this as well. So most common forms of social media, when you look at it as various networking sites, and we have instant messengers. So we are not covering much on instant messengers in this session, but we have a separate session it's coming on. But I'm talking about mostly on a social media networking site, which means I'm not be discussing much on a WeChat or a Telegram, which WeChat and Telegram we are doing a separate session, and of course the WhatsApp as well, WhatsApp, Telegram, and we do separate. So here we are not covering today in the social media the first part, not covering much on instant chat, but the last portion we cover on it. So here I would like for you to identify, before you starting, promoting your business, what are the options available to us. So let's start. So one is, as we discussed, media types. Whether you are using any of the channels, you'll have a social media earned, owned, and paid. The three methods we have it on, right? Okay. So what is earned, what is owned, and what is paid? So earned social media is basically a kind of a free publicity. Even though we say free, there is a hidden cost. We'll discuss that one. Free publicity generated by fans and customers in response to the content they liked it. So not the content you posted. That's a word you might have noticed I use, that they liked it. So it's not necessarily the content you feel is the best one, then to accept. May not be. Sometimes they do, sometimes they not. You know that something suddenly become viral. Sometimes people get a good like, sometimes don't get it, people share. This happens. Now this is earned media. So now what is owned media? So here is, we include a lot of communication and create and control via its own platform. That's what exactly. Now we own that communication part. We have a page, we have a content, we have a videos, and we promote and we created that, all the things that's owned one. Then something called paid media. So all the things, to get a traffic, to get a engagement, we promote, our own media by paying the money to the Facebook or maybe Instagram or maybe on the Google, on the LinkedIn, etc. We do this one. Okay. So whatever option you choose, so there will be a hidden cost. So this one, I wanted to make it very clear. So many other people think in social media is free. That's not true. People consider as a social media free because I'm not paying to Facebook. Yes, correct. That's why I made this as a paid media. If you're paying to the social media, it's a paid. Yeah, it's a paid media. But here we are talking about not paid media. Here we are talking about even a simple social media if you make it, there is an hidden cost. What is the hidden cost? Each post you create, someone has to put an effort. Something you have to pay. You have to have a content. You have to work on it. All the thing has a cost, right? So when we work on a social media, so especially a solopreneur normally think it's a free. Actually, the platform is free, but the social media you are handling, the management aspect, the marketing aspect is not free, which has a hidden cost. So when you do a profit-making business, when you quarterly profit, when we take it out, so that's exactly the reason on a monthly basis you may not be calculating, but a quarterly you'll be declaring profit, social media cost. Even you're not paying, so there is a cost. You worked on, there is a cost. So this is very important to understand. So when your profit calculation, your budgeting part, your pricing calculation, these portions become very important. for you to understand. Okay, so that misconception is because now, especially when you use the social media for a personal purpose, we think it's a free, but actually not true. Okay, and the business purpose is completely different, and it's going to have a good cost on it. Okay. Now, an engaging profile requires a good copy. You know that is it's a one of the big challenge, and it's a very intimidating, and it's going to be very risky thing to get an engagement and great copy content from the social media managers or content writers or whoever is handling it. So now, when we say there's a great copy, so there's a content rule as we discussed yesterday about the email. So we discussed the website content, social media content. Same, the copy is become important. So to get a good videos, good image, good content is a part and parcel of our important part of the getting engagement part. Even you simply take a photo, you have to go and click the photo, right? And it's something you take yourself, there's your time you spend on it and get it done. And plus a solid strategy. So if we don't have a proper strategy, we will be left behind. We will not be able to reach. So these strategies is very important. So anyway, by the way, I just wanted to tell you today my objective is when you start interacting with the experts and during the championship period, it's important to you to understand the basic foundation. So expert when they talk to you, they will not be coming to you in the beginning of setting up the page and configuring campaign, etc. What they do is making a strategy. So my objective is all of you, especially you're planning to be part of a championship. It's to understand these aspects, which I discussed with you earlier, the 7 to 8 days earlier conducted, and today onwards what we are going through. So very important portion that you have to understand everything. Now, this we need to treat the social media channel. We need to really to treat like how we run an advertisement campaign. So that's very important to treat, not just like another email we use it. We are very professionally. We need to do a short term, long term, and mid term goals on it. So we should have this one. Now, the first is important part is finding and training the right team. So even you are doing alone, according to me, alone, if you wanted to do large scale the social media, most of the time you require a team. For example, if you are not good at the graphics, you need someone to design a poster for you and help you for it. You're not good at the content, you need someone to create a content for you. And the copy to have it properly is a very important part. So now whether you hiring someone full time or a part time, or you're doing a kind of an engagement, so it's very important to have a right team in place. A right team and training them is also very, very important part. You need to train them on not onto social media, the strategies you're working on it, the method you want it, the output you want it is very important. These training, so you need to spend a time. Even your spouse, your brothers, your family members is going to help you. You need to share the information with them. So what we're discussing today with you now, you need to do this one, to share with the team members based on your objective and thing. You need to achieve that. Okay. Now, comparing the digital asset, very important to have a social media when you start utilizing. Now, usually, advertising your business takes a lot of time and money. So, like that, social media also take it. Now, two forms of social media, when you look at it is, it comes with all shapes and sizes, different kind of a social media we have. And Facebook and Twitter in a way to making a major player there. And the blog platforms come with the WordPress, or sometimes those who are using our platform on a PHP platform, you have a blog inbuilt there you can do, or maybe you do a review on a TripAdvisor. That can be another one. So in a different level, you have a different platform and asset to use on it. Now you know that the podcast also is a part of a social media that one of all of you to consider doing it in future. So Podomatic, like a social media channels also you might use it. So now all the things, okay, it is a YouTube or an Instagram or a Flickr, whatever is to get a good popularity in the market. So more important is it's professionally handling it. It's a now, as I mentioned, this one of the major paradigm shift all of you should have it on your social media is it is not like in a friends when you're doing nobody care about us your brand, nobody think about you had a breakfast or not, or you having a lunch or not. So most of the time the personal thing we share that day we went to KFC, we went to dine out in the lunch outside, we say we are doing, we checked in here. These are the things which are on the personal level we do. As a brand, people may not be bothered about it, and people are not expecting you to do that one. So it is important even to share your friends, especially about your brand. Your approach must change. Your approach must be more professional. How a brand communicate, that's one important part. So what are the format you are utilizing? That is the most important part. And one more thing, never forget this one. Social media never sleeps. So it's a 25 by 7, 365 days, it work on it. And because of the smartphone, and it's a completely revolutionized how the people connect with each other. So it's a very, very important for us to utilize in a proper manner. Now, so as I mentioned, it's never sleeps at 24 hours, it works, and it's a full time. It's kind of a full time thing in the social media. So the moment you start utilizing social media, you cannot say I'm 9 to 6 and 10 to 4 I work. People don't care about it. The moment you have a social media profile, people expect an instant response, instant activities, and you're not updated for some time, you will have a problem with that. So that's exactly the reason this you need to treat this like a full time you're doing. It's not 8 hours; it's a 24 hours. In a way, you need to be there, alert, and looking their inquiries, questions, and answering them, lead generation and promotions and engagement and monitoring and research and looking trend and hashtag. All the things is a very important part. Now, stakeholders of SML, this is a very important to understand these steps now. So, which are the people are going to be there in the social media marketing aspects? I'm talking about the social media marketing aspect. Social media management aspect we discussed earlier. We discussed so many people on social media. We have a setup master, graphic designers, writers, and researchers, and engagers and monitors. We have when they're headed by social media manager. All right. Then social media manager would report to the marketing division of the company or to the owner of the company and they keep getting the updates on the stakeholder. Now that's the management team. Here we are talking about the social media marketing point of view. We have three major players. We have it is. So one is users. The people are using the social media, potential customers, prospective customers, anyone using. Second one is advertisers. The people are going to put advertisements on the social media. That's another category, and the platform itself. So these three independent entities, and they have independent relationship as well. So they are not directly connected, independently operate everyone, right? So users actually, when you look at it, is they wanted to have a place to engage. That one users looking forward, and sometimes they to get engaged, they also paid for it. And another one important is actually the platform gives us everything to us, and they're not charging us for anything for the server. As you know, social media and interactive media, and its a bandwidth and server is quite expensive. So that is, they're not charging us, but they do charge from advertisers, right? So that's the reason advertisers cover all the things and they only monetize their channel. We cannot monetize the channel except YouTube. As you know, the YouTube, we can actually monetize. Rest of the none of the channels we cannot monetize and make money. Monetization belongs to the platform owner, the website owner, the social media network like a Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg has the right to do that one. Okay. Now we understand this is users. Three things. One is advertisers, social media platforms, and users. The three aspects we have now for to understand about how this is works on. So these three people are now part we need to consider when we go for a social media marketing aspects. The users and the platform which we use and the people are putting advertisement money out there. Now here is actually users interact and engage in a very regular way. So usually they visit the site, and may not be much things happen there, but then there's a transactional experience appear. The users will able to buy online. That exactly the thing. So here is a people able to interact and do it is and do that. So when you look back to history, so how the social media business started happening? One way we can say Amazon allowed to share the things with the Facebook, their purchases. That way, social media business started. But in much before that, eBay did one thing to interaction with the customers and the sellers. eBay allowed to do an interactive process. You can every seller on eBay, the eBay store owner, we are able to communicate each other and get the in communication and the sales done, or maybe decision maker and process made faster. So this is a one way. So this Amazon Facebook decision and eBay's decision actually started a new era on our social media marketing. So that's two companies' ideas. It's basically all of us now we are discussing this point. Okay. So today it's a completely a full-blown conversation, not like it's just a eBay allowed a review or a question to contact the seller point. It's much bigger than that, right? So continuing communication, allowed the entire customers, to take a decision faster. Because when we say they take a decision, the decision belongs to, or a decision when the consumer take it, the result is it belongs to one of the website owners. So we need a more number of consumers take a decision to make a profit, okay, to grow into next to achieve a goal and going to the vision part. So in a way, when you look at it, these communication going online has a huge impact, and it's a very smart decision to go and do it. So everybody is trying it on to become a bigger size. Maybe you start with $100 likes, then 1,000 likes, 2,000 profiles. You start with that, and people trying to grow. And first of all, I just want to tell you before we go further, and most of the time I'm speaking to you in terms of championship perspective because of all of us getting ready for it. But those who are generally, we did a various sessions. Now, if you continues of that part, we are discussing with you. Now, when you look at it as social media marketing, may not be for everyone. Okay. Now, for example, before you start jumping to social media for your businesses, your offline businesses, or even your online businesses, you feel it is now social media, will fit into your business or not. You need to cross check. For example, if you record, now you think about your consumer is not going to use this channel. There's no point of using that, right? So your customers are not using social media. There's no point. You have to be looking for a business making there. So it's a very important you to decide. So this consideration you need to take care. So what are the consideration you take it? One is a target market. Your target market is there or online. Online is there or not? Are they using social media is there or not? If they're using social media, which platform they're using? Sometimes your target audience will not be their LinkedIn. Then there's no point you're going and working on a LinkedIn. And majority of your customers is not there on LinkedIn. So you may have proportionate work only you should do for a LinkedIn marketing aspect. Now your target market is more on Instagram. So you need to have a more look into that. But if you feel your ideal audience is using social media, that's question you should think. You know there are work pattern, think, act, and communicate. You feel your ideal audience is not there using social media, then do not do social media. It's very simple. So why to waste your time? Now another case. Now your ideal audience is not using a LinkedIn. Don't do that. Not required. Your ideal audience is not using Instagram, so don't do Instagram. So that way also we can clarify to that one. So there's no point you're wasting time if your client and the consumer is not utilizing this aspect. So that's a very important step I want to talk to you. That's the reason again in another way we are going to set for a goal based on your consumer's decision. So here again, come back to the point which we have been talking every day on a daily basis. I'm talking to you this now. I want you to get into this mind avatar of a customer. So your customers has become very, very important here. So this, based on these customers, you need to work on all the aspects. Now we can reach out to the public. So your customers, whichever the category your customer belongs to, you have a public reach with the social media. So we can reach the 40% of the population. But to whom all the 40% of the population we are not going to connect. We are going to connect the customers which we wanted. So it is social media, which one you want to, the channel you wanted to use it, and go and reach out to the through public content to the right people. Now, users can rate and slate your businesses very quickly and visibly. That's a one thing about the social media. So because you are there in the market, people can take it. Okay. So also make sure that is now when you don't have an ashamed or something, you're going and talking to the social media, and make sure that is you have nothing to ashamed of to do that product or services which you are doing. Very important to know that. But last time I discussed with you this point, actually, there's a person who come out with a good niche called Della Secret. It is basically about a sanitary napkin. So he's proudly promoting it as okay. But many people could not do that kind of a things to promote. So then you cannot do that kind of a social thing on a market. So that's exactly the reason. Not only the consumer you are going to communicate, what you communicate is also an important part. So make sure that is what you're going to promote. You stand for that and you have a proud about it. You are not scared about it, or you're not ashamed of it. You are not you feel hesitant to promote. No, you should be extremely proud. The best example I told you about the Della Secret is a sanitary napkin. When the buyer or one of the partner of the buyer, he was hesitant to talking about in general. So it is important for you to have you're proud about your niche and to promote on it. Okay, this is very important part. So there are many things which is if you are not proud about it, you cannot do it. So that once something you're passionate, you're proud about only, you will be able to promote. So please do that. And your reputation and credibility also in the customers, and they'll react, they respond. So you make sure that is you have the resistance, you have the stand, you have the genuinity, your route is clear, you have a stand, your objective is clear, your stand is your principle is clear. It's very important to have. So, since we have the greater access, or you have the user, a greater access to users' interest and behavior, so we need to be very careful to use these data. That's another important part. Okay. Now, so these data informations, we have it as, so be carefully using, not misusing or randomly using. It's a very tactically using. It's a very important part. And so an instant communication, that's another thing. In social media, you may do immediate communications, right? So social media strategies are now in place, communicating in a traditional way becomes so, it's not the way it works. It's a completely a new set of way to work on it. So interaction with the consumers, not like earlier, now controlled or carefully managed, or this is an interaction with the consumers. It's on a quickly done, very very immediately done. I'll tell you, it is maybe an organization with 10,000 employees, or 15,000 employees, or maybe 100,000 employees. One person. These are very very sensitive as well. So, but you understand the consequences of the very recent example. If you take the company called Flipkart, so part of a Walmart. So one of the customer care executive in a temp executive, so she's a temporary recruiter employee of the company. She said, we don't have a delivery. We have only delivery in India. We don't have delivery in Nagaland. That's backfired. So an organization has to apologize for it. So it's a communications not carefully controlled and monitored like earlier. So earlier an email go to the company about the email marketing manager, ask a content writer to give it, look at the proofreader is done, then an editorial desk approve, then that mail goes, right? So that was a process. But in a social media case, it's instant. If customer asks something, he immediately answer. It is on a public domain. So it's not properly monitored and not properly controlled, and it's not carefully managed. Now, process is much faster. At the same time, we are also inviting the trouble for your brand to go to the market. This, I'm not trying to scare you, but when you look at it, is the positive aspect of that is it's completely humanizing your brand, and approach is to the people, so people will be happy, and they'll take a decision. At the same time, you will also have a slip ups. You will do mistakes. We do mistakes. We error happens. That's okay. That's first of all. So as long as it's not getting into a legal trouble, as long as it's not having a huge brand damage, it is okay. And if you are scared of taking that one, you'll not be able to start a social media, because yeah, the moment you're on social media, people are going to attack you, people are going to respond to you, people are going to throw mud against you. Even your competitors comes and play with you, and sometimes your enemies come on with you. Sometimes you thought your friends, quote unquote, the jealousy people comes and to you. Sometimes the people take out the frustration about it to you. So it's a all the thing places that, plus some of your slip ups people also take it to out of the proportion. They will talk about it. So that these are the things you should be careful about before start doing marketing. And at the same time, you also make your content manager, if it's in a bad mood, this also will be a problem. Okay, so this is another thing we need to consider. This, and the content has to be very good, and it should be, with as per the rule we discussed. As also, uh, continuously we should get the improved content as well. Now, we need to continue these social media activities on a daily basis or a regular basis. That's the right word. Now, it's usually when we do, we habituated now, like we had a 6 weeks campaign, 3 weeks campaign, 10 weeks campaign. These are the campaign normal the marketing we listen. Even for email marketing, the 6 weeks campaign. Yesterday we talked about a 6 weeks campaign. So that's what exactly usually we talk about. But social media is not a 6 weeks campaign. There's no campaign. Your regular social media activity should be there. In addition to that, you might go and spend an additional. No, that's a different thing. But your social media presence and promotions is 24/7, 365 days. Okay, it is. It is. You need to have this idea with you. Okay. Now, it can be quite scary because too much to take on a burden, and it's a continuously adjusting goal and objectives. That will help you to make much less intimidating. So, as I mentioned, the social media is a huge work. If you compare to even when we discuss with SEO 101, most of it said it's a huge work. If you compare with the SEO, social media has a more work. So you see, has the less work to compare to social media. And social media, you have a completely, what is it? Evolving part. And honestly, on a daily basis, you need to work on and bring the result on. So that's exactly the reason, to get a motivation, to get inspired, and to get charged, to do enthusiasm to keep it, the energy to keep it, synergy to keep it. We need to have a goals and objective and a kind of a celebration we want every time. So to decide to whom you wanted to reach out and tell those people you exist. That's very important part. Whichever the customers you wanted to reach out, so you need to have a to reaching out them and telling them, hey, I'm exist here. You buy from me or connect with me, interact with me for the product and services which you wanted. So you created an amazing profile, and considering as people think of you as a brand, so you need to think about it that you're coming as a brand. Now, you made the transaction process, and our customers keep coming back, and they also start sharing the consumer. So based on what you create and put to the communication there, it keep changes there. So very important part is actually, so this tedious job, I use the word again, this is a tedious job. This is a hardworking thing. It's an ongoing thing. It's a time-consuming thing, effort. Now, we get tired and intimidated. So this thing only we can have it as properly once we set an objective and celebrations. So we should feel good about so many aspects on it. One, the goals which we set in terms of branding, visibility. We reach out to 100,000 people. We reach out to 1 million people. We got this many likes, this many subscribers, this many views, or, this many comments. So all the things is very important for us to keep it on it. That's one. Second one is number of leads we generated. That's another important one. So total number of leads you got it, and the conversion from the leads it's happening on it. Maybe this many sales happened, this many people bought from the products from the, that's another thing. Maybe in addition to that, you maybe other communication thing happened. You got a social media or SEO visibility got through social media. This is another thing which you can have. So all the things become very very important part. So these objectives may include, like I said, sales and cost reduction, and to achieve your overall organization goals and everything. And also the customer started referring to you, and the customer started promoting. That is also a part of this process. Now, product goals such as research, design, and enhancement, everything should be part of this one. Now, communication and to build your brand personality and reputation. That's one of the goals. You need to build your brand personality and your website, how it looks like, your affiliate website or ISM, it's how, what's your personality of your brand, how the people perceive about you, and and your reputation and credibility and the loyalty and the advocacy, everything is important to have your aspect on. Now, you have a goal, you have objectives as branding and engagement, which must be there. So once you have set out your goals, you can explore the best channels which you want to achieve. So you need to think about what you wanted to have. You have 3 sales a day or $100 sales a day, or I want to create a large audience, and with one post I want to generate a lot many number of leads. So all the things you need to think about based on your target customers and their psychographic and demographic, then your goal, then think about which platform will be better for you. People just opposite they do. They immediately create a Facebook page and YouTube channel and Twitter page. Then what else next? They don't even think about that. So that's the important part to have with it to clearing your objectives and start doing it. Okay. Now we'll go to the next step too. Okay, now in detail about we'll do it is the channels. So the goals part, I just conclude it is I did not spend much time on the goals. One is the reason is VM goals at time. We are going to discuss in detail again the goal aspects. We already discussed earlier about the goal aspect of a couple of things. One is a very common with everybody we discussed is $100 per day. So the moment the championship comes in, everybody should make $100 per day. So $100 per day when you are making, social media has a significant contribution. I'm looking for around 20 to 30% will come from social media. So 20 to 30% is a huge percentage, right? When you're looking at it's now $100, $30, $50 need to come through social media. So this this goal you should have it. Another goal which you set at 36 months and $1 million. Then there is another thing which you set to 5 years time with reaching a $1 million company. So all the things, so we had discussed separately. So part of that, the social media goal. Then further, again, we did it for a daily 3 sales happening, right? So 3 sales a day, $100 per day, and quarterly profit and monthly revenue, and all this aspect we discussed part of a goal. So now a comprehensive one more discussion we can have when we are doing a VM course, but your social media goals you need to work on, which is we discussed is also called SMART, right? SMART goal setting you should do. I think today I'm again covering it today or tomorrow and try to cover again on a SMART. But that's a goal we set and your auditing time. So I believe if all of you have done that auditing part with a goal setting, so please do, if not done, and start doing the activities now. Now, stage 2, our iterative process of a 3I, when we discuss about stage 2, the channels. So which channel we use? So we discuss the goal channel, then go into implementation, then go to analyzing. The channels. We'll start with the Facebook, right? Facebook is the most common, and understand the difference between personal profiles and business Facebook pages. These are the things we should do now. First of all, you need to empty the cup. Once again, I repeat the same thing. You need to empty the cup. Why you have to empty the cup is basically in this. Why I'm again and again repeating that the reason is see when we discover the SEO. it's very easy to discuss, and because many of the people not even thought about algorithm. First time they saying algorithm, so you people everybody listen is your 101 strategies, or advanced strategies, or basic strategies. Even your syndication people actually discuss and understand on it. Because it's the first time, because it's an empty mind. But if the social media happens, what happens is most of us are already using for a social media for a personal purpose, and we have a significant achievement there. Many would proudly say, "I have this much, etc." It's a good. It's a personal. I'm not saying it's bad. It's really good. It's a really good achievement. But that's not the thing for a business. It's completely different. We are not even talking about your personal profile. We are talking about business Facebook page. Okay, so that's the difference here. And plus, in the Facebook page, what you go and talk, you went for a party, you went for a breakfast, you went for a lunch, you went for a date. These are the things usually you're talking about your personal profile. It is irrelevant in terms of business perspective. That's the reason I want you to have a clear distinction between personal business and personal social media and business social media. The business social media for business, that should be the right topic accordingly, but actually uses with mastery. So social media for so businesses we are discussing now. So effectively create a well-maintained Facebook page is very, very important for us to have it. And it's just all the branding perspective we should take care. Look and feel we have to take care. Customers, decision-making process we have to take care. We need to take care of the lead aspect as well. So, most importantly, an engagement with the consumers and compelling cost to use insight to see the what works the best is also an important aspect. When you look at the Facebook, maybe at last 10 years, Facebook has done a fantastic things. Even the platform is improved, the number of users improved, even the users' maturity is improved, and there are many tools and plugins and Facebook started allowing us to use it. So around the world, millions of people started using the Facebook. In a way, Facebook is one of the best ones to start using. So approximately 2.7 billion active users we have now, and 96% of Facebook users access their Facebook through mobile devices, which means it's there become 24/7, 24/7, 4 to 5 hours of time they spend time with with the mobile devices and doing it. So very, very important to have this one. Okay. So the opportunity for digital marketing is basically, when you look at it, is a huge with the Facebook, but we need to work on it very systematically. And we can reach out 24 hours. This is exactly when you set a goal, 3 sales a day, that's 8 hours at one sale, so 24 hours it's working. You are not working, but a Facebook is working for you. Your website is working for you. So that's a model we come out, right? So 7 days a week. So your shop is not getting holidays. Every day something is happening. That does not mean you have to work every day. That's a different thing. But we are working 7 days a week and doing it. So in a way, when you look at social media, Facebook is one of the best platforms to engage people and get the expected result. So you already familiar with a lot of personal profile, and I think most of you are familiar with, right? And there are a lot of friends request and accept or decline will be there, right? So it's a pretty time consuming, as you know, and especially every time you go and check and promote and they say no, you will feel it as no, your request is ignored, and you get intimidated, you get frustrated, you get disappointed. All the things are part and parcel of social media game. So the personal profiles but my point here is a personal profile is completely different. The one of the major things in this personal profiles are not optimized for search engines. So you need to have a business profile. So whether your websites, affiliate website, or your OSM website, or your drop service website, or your e-commerce website, or a B2B website, or as an organization you have another website to promote it. So it need to have a to have a business page to have it. Okay, so that's very important to set up. Okay, so this is how to say individual use already. You have a privacy protected. It is a brand trying to grow faster online presence. It's important to have a business page. So most of the brand create business page from a personal account. That's where you can also create and go. So these pages basically have unlimited likes and connection, and take just one click and write a button for a Facebook user to connect. That's So liking is very, very important here. So many people think that just like a like is just a like. Actually, no. Like has a huge algorithm influence. Based on a likes, Facebook decides so many things. Okay, so so basically the search engines, it's also connected with the likes. For example, as I mentioned earlier as well, uh, Google give a value of your Facebook page once you have a 10,000 likes. That's one of the way Google look into. Facebook look into something like a connected with your team members. The moment the people who liked it through a news feed, which, Facebook actually connect with the potential people. So include that's important. Plus, large number of analytics, interactions and everything we should be able to get through. So when the people started liking and doing it. So you can also track your page performance and the post on which is possible through Facebook. So with the business page, easier to know to content to better to suit your audience is very important part. Okay. Now the smart brands, brands go for them or a personal profile. So I'm not talking a personal profile. I'm talking about you have a business page here, as we discussed. So that is makes a huge difference here. So now you also should be familiar with this. I would like to spend some time here. I want you to study about this algorithm. So Facebook uses an algorithm called EdgeRank. Uh, so EdgeRank it organizes the business page content. So EdgeRank is the algorithm. Like in YouTube, we discuss about the algorithm, how it will affect. Then we come out with the strategy of a capture goods where we get a ranking. So similarly, you need to understand the algorithm of a EdgeRank. So as you know that how the algorithm works, when a liking, comment, and follow, and similar profile you follow, the title you use, the content you use it, and the people you follow, the people follow you. All the things is a very important for algorithm influencing part. So EdgeRank is the algorithm used by Facebook for organizing business page and content. So this, based on this one, so many things will derive. That's exactly the reason you need to have a good number of likes, and your potential customers should like your page, which gives a lot of advantage for us to reach out through a stream, the news feed, and showing them again and again our brand and etc. That's advantages. So it's very important, and this is a fantastic thing you can get on a social media and Facebook. Facebook I'm talking about. So very very important. This one. Okay. Now, so as I mentioned again, likes, just the likes. No, it's not just. It's a many people say that just like is not important. It's very very important, and now it has a huge influence with the algorithm. So EdgeRank actually promote posts that have been published and liked by friends over other types of content. So automatically Facebook will be promoting it as this one. And EdgeRank, I think I told you about the last time the example of EdgeRank. When we look at it now, the 4 years ago, the biggest cases happened on a US election. Another thing happened in Indian election. Both based on EdgeRank they play. So what exactly EdgeRank, how you can play around it. Now EdgeRank even, EdgeRank you can use very smartly to reach out the people and to influencers. So I'll remind you this example once I shared with you. One more time, I'll tell you why the EdgeRank is so important to you. So now, for example, two classic example is the best example you can take. Number one, the last time the U.S. election happened. Now then, I think 4 years now. Another 4 weeks or 4 weeks from now, the U.S. election is going to happen. Right, approximately 4 to 5 weeks now. Now, the last time the Hillary and the Trump, when we're doing it, all of you know that is all the prediction. Most of the predictions were against Hillary. And people know it was a short shot of Democrats win there. But actually, we don't know Vladimir, if Russia involved or not. But the fact is actually EdgeRank had a lot of role to play, which is naturally, organically happened, or the Trump campaign did it, or an external factors of the Putin did a completely different issue. But EdgeRank is basically how they used. I told you the example. I tell you then two examples. You'll understand this is very important too to understand even to the consumer avatar of the consumer if we make it. Now, for example, this EdgeRank. Now, if I'm about to take a decision here as doing a vote for the candidate. So I'm going to vote for the candidate based on the thing which is concerning to me, like maybe my security, maybe like my taxes, maybe my ideology, maybe some of the policies which is the candidate taking, etc. Right? Based on that, I change my decision. It's not that only the party people take a decision, right? That's only the party, only the people, apolitical people also take a decision. And even some of the people from every time they shift, election time, they take a decision, right? So that people is the people as we are trying to influence the people to take a decision. So now an example when you look at it is the law of a gun in US. And the Hillary had a different policy about gun, but Trump had a more adamant policy about uh, the gun law in the US. This was concerning to them, for them taking over the gun from them with the security concerns. Now, so a group of people, your audience itself, I'm following, the Trump uh, pages. Then the Trump can actually communicate based on. I have another concern. This concern I have, but another friend of mine, he has a different concern. So he does not, he is not bothered about this one, or maybe he is bothered about not to give a gun in people's hands. Looking at this, the kinds of a mass murdering, mass shooting is happening. Now, based on these data information, so for me, the friend A will like a gun now, friend B, person B don't like a gun now, and Facebook can actually using its rank to show that message to the person about the gun law for some time and disappear. So what happens with this? And such a beautifully configured algorithm. What happens is because as you know, anything in this world is a think, act, and communication. So communication come to me and telling about, hey, you vote for a Hillary, and you will have a problem with your gun. So I might change my decision. Same thing, other person. But this cannot be a public policy. A newspaper ad, then you lose another audience. Because of why? Because in the newspaper ad, everybody see. That's exactly we discussed earlier. It's not a personalized one. So here, in the Facebook, because the edge rank algorithm, we are able to completely personalize and understanding the person, not just knowing the person. You remember that we discussed about understanding the consumer. So understanding the consumer, we will be able to capture the person's attention and communicate it the way we want it. This is one important part. So same thing, like when you look at it, now the Facebook itself, basically employees itself started making problem over Indian election and Indian government relationship with Facebook. The same thing, last time, employment issue, economy issue, or about there is a nationalist issue brought it. So actually, basically, edge rank they used, hey, that is a secondary problem, your problem today, the border, into the protection of the country. That's that is communicated through the using an algorithm and a very systematic communication. So it's a very huge topic for you to understand, and you'll be amazed to go through this one. So this, I would recommend all of you to go to understand it. And we don't have much time. It's a huge thing to understand. Once you understand the algorithm working method, each and every product, if you have a consumers, you have avatar of customers, you wanted to have a 10 different communication to different people by using EdgeRank, you can actually do. So if we implement and we have this kind of a resources to utilize it as, so we need this kind of a facility to be used on. So that means somebody liking your social media, your Facebook, it's a greater chance to connect with those people you wanted, and similar people we will get it up. Now, but however, not everyone who has connected with you will see each post from newsfeed. So it's a very systematic way done it is. Okay, so that's the reason. Even a like and subscriptions and everything become important now. In the Facebook case, you're creating a business page and getting a like to your business page is very, very important. Increase so Facebook like page is very important part. Okay, so now how do you create a business page? So now I'm not talking about all of you know how to create. I'm not talking about technically how you create a page, then putting up, adding, etc. I'm talking strategy aspect. Other actions very simple. All of you know how to do it. So strategy aspect, when you look at it, convey identity. What. start with your considering your brand. Okay, ask yourself, so am I a local business or a place, or you're an organization? So what exactly you are? Or you're a brand or a product or a service or a personal or a celebrity? You need to decide who are you. So that's what exactly you're trying to communicate here. So if you're an artist or a band or a public figure, you think about how you do it. So your answer, so you should do. So you're an affiliate website. Who are you? I mean, just an affiliate website. The customer perspective, what is affiliate program? So you need to say, hey, I'm a yoga enthusiast, or I am a comparative product we are doing. So your brand, what you want to communicate, that should be highlighted in your Facebook page. It's important. Okay. So it's very important to have make your page in the most professional way as possible. So that makes a huge difference if when the people take a decision. So all of you, I think some of you or most of you went through the decision making process. I think it's in a Mendes team went through the decision making process. So part of the VM course I will be discussing about the decision making process. The decision making process, the one of the most important thing is the professional way of making your page become important. Based on that, people are going to judge, look and feel. People are going to judge what you are. And plus the observation part, they also look the number of likes you have, number of people you're following, except important part. So when you're creating a page, so keep these are the points. Keep complete details about on your business, and how people should there are so many people, you'll have millions of followers and they don't know how to contact you. That's a very big issue. So you need to put out the contact information to reach the people, to reach you out. Okay. Now you also keep a fantastic photo and image and suitable for profile. So it's a branding perspective. You need to think about it and keep a good catchy cover photo for that one. So your profile basically come with a beside your business name. So make sure that it's represented very well. Okay, that very important part. And keep the tone and tone and style of your brand throughout the page, because it's a part of branding. So if you are branding objective or your company or website or a social media, sorry, your OSM, your social media should look at the same into representing a brand and the company. So make sure that you do that one. And update your page with entertaining and informative content regularly, not once in a while. You need to keep the frequencies, is important part. Now, when they see the news feed, okay, so people will they take a closer look and they add the like and make it the favorites and etc. Will happen, right? So once you do this one, you also should take care on the graphical. So I'm talking so that you remember. I hope all of you remember the structure which we discussed about it. Social media team manager, then there's a setup master, then graphical designer, then there is a researcher and writer, then there is an engager and monitor. So when you look at it as the setup master, when you set up, you can create a couple of administrators to handle your business page. Not only you can create another administrator to handle your page. So one is actually one is hacked, you can handle much better. If you forgot the password, you can handle better. Sometimes you are away from the business, you can do it as. So it is very important. In addition to that, you can also make your page engaging well. Now, how do you get engagement part? And so engagement is like you need to get a good traffic to your page first. You need a good link. You have to share good communication, and people and to have an engaging content. All the things is important to have a more engagement to your website. Again, I'll remind you, this is when you come from a social media usage, already using for a social media, and coming to the business, please change the habit. So as you know that we all having a habit is social media personal purpose, where we go check into a restaurant, we check into the hotel, we'll highlight that is even though we had a normal simple breakfast at home, people say I had a KFC breakfast and show off this kind of a thing, or very original. So all the things is it's completely different for business page. So people are not bothered about you had a breakfast or not. Your brand, your product, your niche, your category, your solution, your problem you're addressing, that to be communicated through your branding part. Okay. So your post, you get a traction. You need to get some kind of result. You should have a relevant, interesting, and easily understood messages. Simple the post. That's what exactly we should do. Now, people will not encourage the complicated post. People wanted a very simple one. Okay, so people wanted to like and follow. It definitely you need to have a very simple content. Now, the buttons, which is now hundreds of and thousands of people can grow with the likes button. So make sure that is the content which you are using, which has a relevant value and a relevant post you are providing, and can grow with that. Now, there are a few things, each post when you're doing, when you're communicating, that's your communication is your post, right? When you're communicating to the people. So what are the things, you need to think? First of all, it should be find it interesting or funny, right? Unless if it is, it's interesting or informative or it's funny, people are not going to come to your website, social media page and like you and follow and wait for update. So that's an important part. You keep an interesting thing. So that's one of the method and strategies earlier we discussed 70-20-10. So sometime your product and services things is may not be that interesting to the people, but the 9 content out of 10 you communicated in a interesting way. People are okay, even you don't can be. That's another thing. But still, your thing part you should be able to put in as much as interesting way. Now, those who are not familiar with the 70-20-10 principle or just want to refresh your memory, where you are going to do 10 posts, 9 posts is not about your product and services. 7 posts is nothing to do with your product and services. Another 2 posts you might do an indirectly connected. Only 1 post about your buy the products. So that way you need to plan in a systematic way to do. That's a 70-20-10 principle or strategies which we discussed earlier. So this is very important to keep this as part. Now, you may also use some other strategies, but make sure that is you're engaging people with the information you're passing out. So much of information people share for information, valuable information people give out free to keep that interesting for the people and informative for the people. That's the reason people are coming back to you again and again, right? So that's also very important for to have keep it that one. And it is the moment you make an interesting content, the moment you make the informative content, and you feel it's a funny content, that will go to the market. Not only your effort, the many people, those who follow you, they will actually put their effort to reach out to friends. This is a good opportunity we have. So think about something. I agree. Sometimes you come out of the post and content. It's sometimes in hurry, sometimes with a very limited time and a time consuming. We don't do that. Much time and effort on that. So when we don't do that, what happens is even these people, the people who are supposed to do effort for you free of cost, they also don't do the work. So think about you have 1,000 likes and 1,000 people might share your post if it is interesting. And 1,000 people share, another 1,000 also may share. Think about 1,000 into, or even take 100 people out of the 1,000 share. So 100,000 people you can actually reach out that way. So this is very, very important to have. So making an interesting content, making interesting post, making informative post, engaging post is very important. Now, what is going to happen? I'll tell you. Now, when the championship time or your marketing time, what we say, hey, you do 70-20-10 in a month time. Under the pressure, for a namesake, we will create a post and do, and which will not fit the result. Also, one of the most common mistakes in the world. So that's the reason many of the companies who do very good social media, they have 3 months ahead or 6 months ahead, they already made their post ready and communication ready. Then they start to the market going. So that may not be that much, at least advance is not back. At least a month we should plan ahead. In this month time, we need to think about it as, with less pressure. We have more time to correct it and engage it. This is important. So we need to have this part to be done in advance. So this one, the content, image, design, and post which you're giving to the people, the communication given to the people, never compromise. It should be done properly. Now, if you think the post will not have an effect, it's a probably needs a lot of work. So never forget this is a very, very important part. Now, in theory, Facebook is basically give you unlimited space, right? So you can do unlimited posts, unlimited things you can have and give you. So we can utilize this one. But however, according to the research, Jeff Bullers, the one of the good marketer, which I told you about a couple of days ago, I read his email a lot. So Jeff Bullers, it's more than 40 characters receive 86% of the more engagement than posts with a higher character count. So this, when you get this opportunity, make sure that you follow these rules. You also know some of the posts you wanted to post it. Facebook immediately don't allow. Facebook asks you to change and to give the as per the standard. So these are the things you need to consider this one. Now, another thing is actually, whatever we do, we have a complete statistics, and the statistics do not lie. Facebook give you very genuine stat. You get a fantastic insight. Okay, so very important as also we always know the short and simple is the best thing to have it. Okay, so conversational tone, try to evoke a response. It is post. You need to try to get a response from the people. Call to action should be there. Something people should do it is, okay? So, and plus a post, you need to have a two-way interaction. That was exactly the new trend. You can see every YouTuber, every social media influencer now, not just convey, they ask the feedback, they ask an opinion, they ask what do something. So interaction is the key about it is that, okay? So, a few tips, then we'll end for today. Then we'll continue major parts tomorrow. So one is actually is an emotive imagery. The great way to catching people attention is we need to use an IDA principle, and we need to use a good image and grab the attention. IDA principle, as all of you know, attention. We are grabbing with the headlines and image, and create an interest with the subheadings, and make with a descriptive with a very few words, like a desire it is. Then you can also have an action to take in there. Okay, now immediately to people say it's only limited offer and scarcity, something you can create on it. So it's a very important part, creating on a the image there and do it as okay. Now once again, there's a very important one I want to tell you. We need to keep trying. Every time our post is not going to succeed. Some post is going to do well, some post may not be going to do well. Sometimes we think it's amazing content, good headline, may not necessarily users accept that. That's another challenge we have, right? So keep trying. That's very important. So we may not get the first time the right thing. Maybe second time, maybe the third time. We never know when we get. So one thing become viral, it might change the life. That also is there, right? So you might get a good sales of one thing. So once in a while, we need to get a good reach. So not necessarily every post is getting. It's not really possible. Okay. So it's a keep going. It's important. Don't get disappointed. Keep trying and trying and trying. That is only the solution for this. Okay. So now, while you're doing this one, you will realize and learn what are the things is working for you, what is not working for you. So based on these learnings, we can, we can come out with our own style. So initially, we might have thought some kind of a style. It may not be giving us a very good result, and it may not be giving a reach. It may not be giving the way we wanted to expectations. Maybe one or two things somewhat reached some expectations level, then you might think about moving towards that style. So that's the reason initially you feel this not working out, does not matter. You can do that. So, but very important is quality over quantity is the most important aspect to have that done. Now, another important is about publishing a lot of posts on every weekly basis. You need to have a 70-20-10 principle we discussed last time, in a month's time, right? Or maybe you can also have in a week's time, but depends upon how engagement you're bringing on it. Okay, so you can have actually 1 month. This is actually according to me, that is fine. That is enough actually to do. But If you're planning to do three sales a day, you should have a different strategies as well. Okay. Now, what is it? Instead of scale back on the number of and post content and servers, should have purpose and objective is important as we discussed. That's most important. And the most important part is step positive. Now, everything you, as we discussed initially, so you should be happy about it, your promotion about it. Even in the COVID-19 time, you need to go and talk on the positive things. That's what exactly people wanted to hear about your brand. Now, make your page, feel good about it. So why the people come, you show the frustration towards it. It should not be like a Fox News we watch. So it should be kind of a, people should feel good about it where they comes and do it. Okay. Now you make them laugh with your post and make them interesting with enthusiasm. People should feel to come back again and again. That's one of the major requirements to do. Now, it's also important to throw out the humor and funny, and that's exactly the reason you use the 70-20-10 principle. Which you can have a space for showing the humor and funny and interesting and entertaining content without damaging a brand. In fact, actually boosting a brand and getting the people engaged with that and do that one. So, plus of course your camera rolling. Putting with a lot of pictures is a very, very important part. And now the video also an important part. So here is again, I'm not recommending you to go for a professional people and do recording, etc. Simply a simple one. You shoot with your iPhone or a Galaxy phone, your smartphone is enough to shoot the videos and make the video and upload and do it. So it is once the moment is automatically that it's there in the newsfeed as we discussed, it's automatically hooks the people and you get more moving on. Okay. And engaging video get them a more personal and a business page like. You need to have a good videos, and video gives a good massive reach to the people on it. And you need to have balanced content. It's not that too much of things you are doing. The balancing part, never forget on it. Now you will, the risk. What you think about it. You don't go for hard sell. Buy from now. That is exactly the eliminated 70-20-10 for only one time. Only 10% of the time you are asking about to buy something. So you need to keep it that one and make sure that is your content. You make them happy and comfort, and give them a interest. You are become an interesting person to you, etc. You do it. Okay, so effective page. You need to have a balance between a good viral content and a business-led post. So many of the things, the 9% which we discussed about, 90% is the other content is more important. Now you also should have your deals and offers. It's a very important to have it is in your social media. Show them So when we make it interesting and informative to the people, at the same time, it's also important to keep the good deals and drive and revenue for that one. So mix it with like a lot of entertaining part. Even connected to your brand indirectly or indirectly connected to an entertaining, not just completely adding some other movie clip or anything. I'm talking about entertaining with your own what do you call your own brand or enterprises or a niche related entertainment. This also make an education. That's a good strategy to do one, and engage them and encourage them interaction as well. So it's one of the best one is actually putting in a good content on educating them. People are really become loyal to you. People are really and will be interested in you, and you will also create a trust, and you will also get a people with your own vision and the same philosophy to believe in. You'll have a lot of comfort with it. So educating is also another method. Entertainment and infotainment is another thing. People say giving information with entertainment method called infotainment. Infotainment is one of the best method to do this one. Now, once you do this one, now we assume all the things you start doing. So very important to using an analytics security. So you could be posting a content and now looking at what the result you're achieving on it. So how many people it reached, how much where it's reached, you need to look at it as it's reached around 14,000 people or 1,000 people. You should check it as how many people really reached. How many of your fan did reach, and when they are online. So your analytics give you at what time, the average time they are online. So same time you'll be able to target them. So the post success, sorry, you do the in the post, to reach an organic way is the best way to reach. So is the post a success due to paid reach or organic reach? We need to verify that one as well. Now, by the way, the organic reach is, when you do the post perform by themselves without paying for advertising, that's a good thing. So organic reach is the best one, no doubt. But sometimes we also do paid reach on it. Okay. So paid reach is basically boosted. Advertising is your first one. Then you can also have a sponsored reach. You can do that sponsored post also. It will reach out to people. So then there is something called social media plugins, which will start tomorrow in detail about that. And we also cover other platform like a Twitter and other things is tomorrow. And I would like you to go through today. I think you will understand the importance. I think that I understood the importance of the previous topics which we discussed, like what is that? Social media auditing, social media teams, social media management, social media strategies, social media marketing, social media tools, and all the aspect. I would like you to go through and refresh your things and get one. Okay. So thank you so much, all of you. I think a few minutes from now, I'll join you in the mastermind to discuss further. So thanks a lot. Thank you.